In one scene we have with Christophe is singing, I think you should copy the script. Has the kids singing the what every French, if you've been in the French colony of Cumber French, I am a son of the Gauls, I am from the Gauls. It sings that, and then Toussaint comes in here and says, that doesn't seem right. It isn't. But in that sense, you have Dessalines who's leaning in some way, but he's in that camp of somewhat traditionalism. But the pure person, the purity of that lies in Moïse, the son, who eventually, after leading that revolt of farmers and soldiers against Toussaint executes him. You know, and he at the end of the play, we have this moment where he realizes his failure. You know, that he realizes that becomes the last time. Before we open the film with this we open the film with Fatima's voice as she talks about the history of Haiti, Tiano. Then we look and we find the buttons, which is at the Cooper Museum, the buttons that that had been given to Toussaint by the general who comes to defeat him, but becomes his ally. I'm losing it right now, but we open the scene with that, and then we see his face at the last moments of death, because he freezes to death. Napoleon puts him in prison, he freezes to death. We see him, so then we go back to the night of fire. Then we have him come through the encampment where he sees women and men drinking rum, and everything seems to be just out of disarray. This is after the revolt. So he brings order to the revolt. He's the one that organizes the revolt in such a way. He trains the soldiers, and does everything, organizes the revolt, defeats the Spanish, makes an alliance with the Spanish, then defeats the Spanish, and then makes an alliance with the French. And then that's when Sonthonax abolishes slavery. His decree abolished slavery in Haiti right there, 1793. So he does that, he goes from that point on through this whole plans of pseudo-statehood or whatever and everything else. Then he decides now that he was going to now control and take over the whole island of Hispaniola, the whole island, which included the Dominican Republic, the Central. So he becomes that particular point. Then he comes back and realizes, just as Napoleon comes to power, that he has another adversary. And he tells Napoleon something, you may be the first among whites, but I'm the first among black. Napoleon sends a secret, it sends Leclerc, his brother-in-law, married to Pauline, sends his brother-in-law to Haiti, not simply just to crush the rebellion and replace the generals, but it's in a secret order, but using Haiti as a staging ground to now reassert themselves in the Americas. And the fact that the Haitians defeated them is the reason why, desperate for money, he sells the Louisiana Purchase for $13 million. Jefferson only was enamored with New Orleans, but they got the whole caboodle with everything else. So we don't go in that part of it, when we take it up for those 12 years, 1791 to 1803, of the years, which thrusts Toussaint from a 47-year-old coachman to some who dies at 60 years old in the French Alps.
So what stage is this?
Well, what happened is we finally got the script. First of all, we figured, where's the best place to shoot this movie? Where politically is the best place to shoot the movie? So we knew that South Africa had a fund, or South Africa was in the business of doing movies. So they have the industrial, the IDC, the Industrial Development Corporation. And so about 2000, after trying to raise money, 2005, 2004, we started meeting with at various film festivals with people from the IDC. We figured we schemed up a plan where if we got 30% from South Africa, we got 30%, leverage that 30% by a Ingenious, a company in the UK, because South Africa and the UK had arranged, had signed a production deal, co-production deal. And so we do that. Then we go and arrange the other 30%. It's a $30 million film. If I do this in LA, in Hollywood, in the studio, it's a $75, $80 million film. So we go to Genius. In fact, we get all our heads of departments are people who are really wonderful at what they do in the UK. Remy Adolf-Harrison, who is our cinematographer, who's of Nigerian descent. He shot Elizabeth, both Elizabeths, and then he did a couple of Woody Allen films out here. But he is working Elizabeth, and he shot Band of Brothers for HBO, which he won an Emmy for. His work is exquisite. We wanted to work with him. Consolata Boyle, as a wardrobe person, is an incredible wardrobe. She's done most of Stephen Spears' movies, from Dangerous Liaisons to On. She's done that. So we got some of the period. We got someone that we wanted to do that. And we began to work in that sense, putting we got Michael Carlin, who got an Oscar nomination last year, but had just finished, when we contacted him, just finished The Last King of Scotland. Here's a guy who can find ways in which he can, get to doing what it needs to be done. So we had three key people, and often heads of departments, AHDs. We got three key people that we wanted to get. So then what we did was we talking to the IDC, trying to find ways, talking to Ingenious in the UK and everything else. So, and this is all on my dime. Development of the script, all this stuff on my dime. It's been a long journey, but I figured the only way I was going to get this script done and get the story I want was putting my mouth where my money was. My money was my mouth was. That way. And so we did all that. Then we went to do location scouting, and we figured out that we were going to try to do it. This is about 2,000 kilometers from Maputo, Mozambique. There's a little island called Ilha Mozambique, and on that is a 16th century Portuguese fort. So we were going to use that as the center base, use the island in itself, but the island was so undeveloped that we had to scrap that to most part, because it was so undeveloped. We'd had to put a water system in. It only had accommodations for about 60 people on the island itself. It was a beautiful do that. We'd have to bring in a cruise ship or someplace to house people offshore. All those things added about $3 million to the budget. So, and then we went all the way. I traveled all the way up down KwaZulu-Natal. We found sugar cane. Okay, we may have a problem. Now we're going to have to do some sort of visual enhancement to get the kind of scenery, to get the look of the Spanish town, to get the look of Port-au-Prince, or to get the look of Leclerc, the three towns that we needed. So we did all that work and everything else, and set up an office there at the end of 2006. Set up an office there. None of that came through because the one thing we could not get, we couldn't get foreign sales estimates for a film because of the cast and the genre. Not because of the genre, because the cast was all black. We went to every single one we wanted. We went to Pathé. I had done a film with them. We went to Wild Bunch. We went to all over Europe trying to get a foreign sales estimate. But nobody would give it to us. I even went to Mel.